Guidance.
Back against the wall, put on all of this just for my sake. I ran it up, I'm going back and forth. I had to go dumb for a check. Call on my guy, anti-hero on the beat. Got curb, got it going dumb on the streets. One false move, put the boy on the tee. I started hopping in the cast, no, I never was sweet.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We're back, man. Sweeterman podcast back at it again. It's your boy Anti-Hero, and today I have two different special guests. We got, returning again, Meami, aka Meami, and then we got my boy Ryan over here. I've known them both since high school, man, way back in the day. How y'all doing today?
Wait, why are you anti-hero?
Am I anti-hero? So I'm the anti-hero because, how do I explain this? I think I'm a good guy, right? I think I'm for the right purpose, right? Like I'm doing it, but I don't do it in the hero way. Where at the end of the day, when I save the girl, I'm not puffing my chest out, going, I did that thing, right? I just keep it pushing. I do it, in an unconventional way, and I just keep it pushing, right? And that's my mentality. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. It's kind of like a Deadpool vibe,
You a Kevin Samuels nigga, bro?
Possibly, yes.
You're a menace. Oh man, go ahead, bro. What?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like introduction?
Yeah, introduction. Yo, talk about yourself, man. Ryan. I've known Ryan since freshman year of high school. Actually, we've all went to high school together. You guys know each other pretty well,
I do
right?
know Ryan, yeah.
So we've known each other since high school, man. I've chilled with Ryan like from the jump. We went to high school, college. Pretty much our whole adult life. We always kept it tight knit. Obviously, you guys know Miami's return. I kind of wanted to put these two together because for two reasons. One, because of crypto, and two, because I've known them for so long. So both of you guys kind of have your own crypto journey. That's why I've invited you guys here. First, one thing I want to ask guys is, what is crypto? Like, what is cryptocurrency? Because shit, I don't even know to this day.
Go ahead, Ryan.
That's a loaded question. It's really, you have to know kind of multiple subjects to understand what cryptocurrency is, right? So cryptocurrency, probably what everyone is asking, is kind of the coins you see when you look on the market. So like the big hitters is Dogecoin, Ethereum, Ripple.
Can't believe you said Dogecoin, but go ahead.
Hey, did I start with that? I
You
feel
did
like
say-
that's
you
the
did
hot
start.
button topic
It's
right
not
now,
hot,
man.
No. Once it does, we should get like the little thing. Sound like we should get like so it starts peaking, right? We can't have the live active, yeah.
So I'll say, let me kind of asterisk that this is my definition. So cryptocurrency is a coin that is developed to utilize blockchain. So it's kind of a segment of data, packet by packet, that's connected on one long chain that is, it's anonymity, where you don't really, no one can track the data on top of it, and there's a permanent chain of history where you can kind of look back and see what is going on. So cryptocurrency utilizes this to make a concept where you can either buy and sell goods, or it might be kind of in different spaces where NFT is a big one now, where you can buy and sell intellectual property. You can apply in so many different ways. So what is crypto is a very loaded question, but it's essentially a design that uses blockchain to advance technology in one form or another.
And well, I think he just answered everything. For me, crypto is more of just a decentralized system to so there's really not any control in a sense. It's a way to stop things like inflation happening and stuff like that, as you're seeing with the economy. And that's kind of just my simple definition of it. I'm not gonna get like Ryan. He's a
Sorry,
smart
I
one.
jumped in the weeds way too early.
Yeah, even after explaining, I have no idea, which probably most of you guys don't either, but that's fine. The only thing I really know about crypto, it's got me the bag. It's really got me the bag. I think this is kind of like not Robin Hood the app, but like Robin Hood the character of, the poor can get rich off this, man. Like it really can. Like, most investors and everything, they have to have a lot of money to invest to make more money. The rich keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poorer. I think crypto is like the first time we have like a free market, right? We're able to, if you have money, you could turn $1,000 into $10,000. If you're smart with it.
Yeah. This is probably the first opportunity since the .com bubble where kind of the little guy can make some real money, turn like 1,000 into 10 grand, 100 grand. You hear all those stories where you can make.
See, I didn't even know
Tons
that.
of
I was
money.
thinking the gold rush. You know what I mean? That's the last time I thought about people making a
Yeah,
bag.
I didn't even think about the .com. I thought that there's never been anything kind of like this ever to kind of happen for a generation, at least in the recent years, especially like this. You know, where $500, not even $500 turns into $10,000. $500 can get you $1 million. You know, if you buy it early enough, and such at a accelerated time. 4 month span. That's unheard of ever in history.
Yeah.
So, we're just in a different era, and a lot of people, are kind of still skeptical about it. But I feel like statistics don't lie. So, when the numbers are shown, you can't really go against numbers. It's really hard to go against that. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's right. I mean, one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, crypto's like a hot topic right now. Like it's right now,
100%.
especially with like Elon Musk and Doge, and everyone's talking about it. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, what got you guys into crypto and like when?
You want to start?
So I got into crypto initially 5 years ago. So seriously, I would say I got into it last year, but I would say 5 years ago. A lot of people, don't know the story, but I owned about 6 Bitcoins. I also owned like over, 500 Litecoins. I owned over, 100 Ethereum coins. And I always say investing is a luxury now that I had to learn. Before I started my YouTube, I did not have a bag. I wasn't flooded with money or whatever and whatnot. And now that I have, it's a luxury because there was times where I made, $3 grand on Bitcoin and didn't have, the means to keep it because I needed to pay bills or I needed to do this or I needed it for a reason. Now that I look at it hindsight, I mean, I could have just held maybe one Bitcoin, just chilled, never looked at it. It's not like I needed the money, but I needed the money, if that makes sense. So I got into it then. I've always been a watcher of it. I was there for the second crash, the second bear market. I saw the second bear market. I knew it was going to go back up, but I just kind of just stayed away and watched from the sidelines. And then now when COVID happened, for me, it was more of like, okay, now I'm making this money from YouTube. I have a lot of money sitting for what reason? And then I was kind of just like, you know what, let me find a way. I was like, let's get back to this crypto, see how the market's going. And, it was starting to transition up into the bull market. The bear was starting to end and people were starting to find ways now. And obviously, stimulus package happened, which everybody thinks is a good thing, which it's not. But
Agreed.
Stimmy happened, and I think a lot of invisible money went into crypto. So can you imagine that invisible money that was created, that was printed, was now put into this thing that made you money, and now this money is making you real money. So it's like, what is money at the end of the day? Like, I mean, but go ahead, Ryan. When did you?
Yeah, so mine was kind of a little different, probably relatable to a lot of people in the current rush. Back in 2018, I just worked a couple years in banking after college, trying to hit a couple milestones, get a nice car, buy a house, and I was looking for something that could kind of accelerate my financial wealth as quickly as I could. So I started doing research, crypto came up, and at the time, I seemed like the crazy guy because it was really deep in the weeds, and I would ask this guy all the time, Nick over here. I was like, "Hey man, what do you think of these cryptocurrencies?" He'd be like, "Man, he's a fucking idiot. He's throwing real money into fake money. What is he doing?" But I had a lot of failures along the way since 2018, and I finally hit on something that was successful for me. It was gaming, something I actually know all about, and I've been playing games, looking at games, reviewing. Kind of end-to-end process, and I understand it well, and I found a concept that kind of would apply very well into the current situation for gaming, and threw a few thousand on it and did very well. So that was kind of my journey, but along the way there was definitely some hiccups. It wasn't a perfect story for me.
It's kind of crazy. Just hearing this, I didn't know when they started. I knew Ryan started a couple of years back. I wasn't really sure what Meami was doing, but actually I heard about it in 2011. When I was in high school.
That was the initial.
So when I heard about it was Bitcoin. And the only reason I knew about Bitcoin is because a lot of my friends, I'm going to keep them anonymous, were using it towards the black market.
Yeah, back then you were buying weed, meth, mushrooms,
They're buying heavy
Silk
narcotics
Road.
through the black market. And the only reason I knew because I was like, they would explain, well, you buy this thing called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a currency you can use. It's untraceable, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, man, I ain't into that drug stuff. It's fine, whatever. When time went by, then Ryan started bringing it up. Ryan was like, hey man, you gotta get into this Bitcoin stuff, this crypto stuff. And I was like, but that's not even real money. So he said he's putting real money into fake money. I didn't understand it. I said, bro, I'm not doing it. I'm sticking with my mutual funds. Sorry, thank you, but no thank you. Time went on. Ryan was banking. He was making money. I can say that, right?
Yeah.
He's making. Yeah. He started with like a small investment. That a small investment grew and grew. And then as of this year, 2021, I threw a couple thousand in there. And just off his advice, he gave me the golden spoon. Ate. And from there, I became a crypto head, you know?
Yeah. Now he reinvested everything and lost about half?
I know, man. Come on.
We don't have to talk specifics.
Yeah, we don't talk specifics, but yeah, no, I definitely did. With that, I mean, definitely came with like the mental stress of crypto. I know Ryan, right now you're out of the game, taking a break.
So for those who are in it or looking to get into cryptocurrency, you have to be careful. It can kind of consume your whole life, especially if you throw money that you shouldn't be risking at the time when you're way too invested. You can find yourself just checking the numbers every hour, waking up in the middle of the night, which I did. When you're looking for certain news to hit in certain markets, it requires you to wake up, set alarms in the middle of the night.
Facts.
We did that for when I cashed out. It was the Coinbase listing of Engine, and I had a very specific time I needed to hit. It was around 3 to 5 in the morning. So unfortunately, that's part of the game. You need to have a perfect exit point or at least get close enough to it, and that requires you to be up sometimes in crazy hours of the night. Miami, I'm sure you could attest. I've heard stories before this.
Can. So did you go full sell on your end, or you went 100% profit, or?
I got about $4 in my account right now. Don't worry, I'm coming back, but I'm gonna wait.
Honestly, to be fair though, when you look at it from that standpoint, because you did sell high when it hit the 3 range, because it did hit the 3 range.
It did.
That means right now it did drop back. It dropped actually low as $1.80, I believe.
Yep.
And so that would have been a great time to buy back. Like, there's always hard to time the market, but when you can time the market like that, you basically make your profit. Let's say example, you made $300,000, and then now you bring back and you go $200,000 instead of $1.80. If it goes back to $3, now you just made another $110,000. That's numbers right there for y'all. It's not exact, but it's close to it. Yeah. And so when you think about it like that, it's like, yeah, it's always times where you time the market or whatnot. But that is a great exit point that you got out if you did. But for me, the stress, I would say. Not the stress, but like it's easier for me because I'm a YouTuber, so my job is literally free time as much as I can, and so I'm always usually up editing videos. So it's kind of crazy, like being able to watch it, and I also think that's a bad thing too sometimes, because sometimes when you overwatch it, you kind of over speculate. And then you're thinking that it's really down. See, time's really sped up when you're looking at this crypto shit too. Yeah. Like you feel like a day is literally like a year when it's just been a day, bro. Like
emotions
sometimes
get involved. It gets a little crazy.
But that's why they always say you zoom out. Look at the graph and zoom out and see what the graph is. Look at the last 2 months. Oh, we're in a good spot now. Don't look at it from the daily, what it is, down 1,000. Look at what it is for the last 3 months, up fucking 12,000%. Don't look at what it is. Down a couple 50% for the day. That's just not what you should look at. So that's kind of just one thing I've learned. As far as the mental stress goes, I don't really. I think the one thing, like I said, is a luxury. When you have money and all your money's not really tied into the crypto, I think that's a blessing in that. For the most part, yeah, if the crypto goes down, then I'm cool. But I'm still not stressing. I'm still cool. Like I'm still, I got everything. I don't overinvest. I still have money, and also I'm still a YouTuber at the end of the day, so my money is still incoming. So it's not like I'm throwing everything, whatever, and I still got more money incoming. I'm always making more money or making money, trying to figure out ways to make money. So it's kind of just like the stress really for me. I do check it once a day though. I will not lie, I check it once a day, and I probably check it at night just to see how the market went, just to see, I like to analyze and see where the market is. Currently, I don't have any day trades going on, but we could talk about that, what day trading is or whatever, or crypto trading, day trade, because this is different. We just use the same lingo type shit, it's the same lingo. Yeah. But yeah, for me, the stress has definitely, it hit before, but I think also the thing is too, so if you bought Engine, say you bought it at 50 cents, I don't know when you got into it, as soon as you're at $1.50 or $1.30, I'm not stressed about it no more, because now I'm above the game. Yeah. The people that are stressed about it is when you buy at the wrong time, aka when you buy they call it FOMO when you're buying at the time high. Like, should I buy right now? Should I buy right now? Everybody's buying. No, bitch, you should not buy. You should wait.
Yeah.
You know, we always say, you know, you take green hills and you must stay away from or you buy red dildos. You stay away from green hills. That's how we say it. Yeah. So you like when that means that green means it's going up, red means it's going down. You always buy red dildos. The problem is people don't want to buy into red because they're like, oh, this shit's gonna crash. When in fact you should be always buying when it's red. If you see something that is red, there's a big ass red dildo, you buy. That's when you buy. Yeah. Literally. When you see something's green and going to the moon like green, that's not when you fucking buy.
Yeah. A lot of people do.
And a lot of people do. And then they get mad like, why the shit went down? Well, what goes up must come down. Like that's just how life works. It's just how, you know, gravity works, you know, shit. It's just, what goes up must come down. And the same thing goes in the stock market. Same thing goes into the crypto market.
But I think with that it comes with greed. When I got.
Did you talk about that?
I'm gonna talk about it right now. I'm gonna talk about it right now. So obviously, you know, Meami and Ryan, they've been in this game for a while now. I started in February. You know, Ryan has pushed me. I saw him making this money. He told me, Nick, you have to get into this crypto right now. I threw some money in it, and in 2 months, I caught a bag. Let's just say I caught a bag, right?
You did.
I got in the right time, and Ryan has been analyzing this for years. That when he cashed out, you cashed out maybe 2 or 3 cents. Maybe it spiked maybe 2 or 3 cents more, but you cashed out at exactly the perfect time. I cashed that out then. I walked out with a bag, but then greed kicked in. I was like, man, I just made all this money, took out my initial investment. I was like, you know what? I'm going to now freelance. Ryan's out the game. So I just started exploring. Yep. I went into dogecoin. Just like how Meami said, I just went in when it was green. I said, you know, Saturday Night Live is going to hit $1. I bought it at like 68 cents, bro. I bought it at 68 cents. They predicted it to be $1. I threw in, I'll be transparent, I threw in about 5 racks in there. I said, you know what, just 5,000, it's going to be straight. Elon, man, come on, bro. But you know what, it's fine, it's fine. He slapped us with a hard dildo.
He did.
I'm fine. But that was something I had to learn. You know, I had to learn that. There was a point where I could have exited, but my greed said, no, it's going to hit $1, and I bounced. So, like Meami said, it's a luxury, man. If you're going to invest, whatever you invest, man, expect to lose, right? So if you have bills to pay, you got stuff to handle, don't throw that money in there. I've heard so many horror stories where someone's like, oh, I needed the money because I had to pay for my car note or whatever, and they pull that money out and that shit spikes. They could have made 20 grand, but they had to pay this. Don't play with that money. That money's something, if you're going to lose, you're going to lose, and that's something mental stress-wise. I didn't experience it at first. Ryan handed me the golden spoon, and then all of a sudden, I'm checking fucking Dogecoin every single minute. And it just kept tanking, and I was just stressed out for like 3 days.
I think another stress for me, too, is the fact that I've never lost because, like I said, the luxury of holding. You don't lose until you sell. You know, a lot of people don't really realize that. A lot of people are trying to get rich quick. And look, there's only 2 ways you're going to get rich quick, or not even rich quick, rich in this market. And one is holding. Holding is what's going to get you rich. Holding for long periods of time and getting growth over the year or months, whatever it's going to, not days, months. And you know, you have to be able to hold and be strong and have diamond hands. You know, there's paper hands and diamond hands. I always tell people, like, you know, I had a couple friends, you know, they were worrying about losing $500 and they're like, oh, I'm gonna lose $500. You know, it's gonna go down to $100. I lost $100. I need to sell. Why? Like, you know, just wait, just sit on that. I mean, more from my friends, because I know they don't need that $500. That's why I speak. Now, people that need it, that's a whole different conversation. This is not applying.
But if they need it, they shouldn't be putting it in there.
Correct. But so the fact that you put it in there, you lose $100, now you're stressed out because you think, I mean, like, in order for you to lose basically your initial investment, it would literally have to tank 100%. 100% is basically a bear market. And even the bear market didn't do 100%. It did about 69 or 72% last time when Bitcoin went down. So you were talking 100% decrease.
Yeah.
All right. To lose your whole investment. And when you do more money, yeah, it gets a little scary. But, you know, so when people say that, man, and when you have all these big companies backed into your coin or whatever, then you shouldn't really be stressed about that. And it's more about the weight. The second way you make money is having a lot of money. All right, people don't really realize that. Having a lot of capital is the way you're going to make money. And how do you get capital? Well, there's different ways. You either make money in your career or you slowly make money in the market, which then goes into the capital. I always try to tell people the numbers, a specific number here. Everything in the market, we'll say, for example, right here, you have $100,000. I know who the fuck has $100,000? but I'm just saying people have $100,000. And, you know, so when you look at it like that and you have those numbers and whatever, if you get 10% return on 100,000, you basically make $10,000 that day in that trade. Now, people don't really realize the market goes up and down every single day, and it moves 5 to 10% every single day. Not even day, hour, 5 to 10%. And it happens. Swings happen like that. When you learn how to read charts, you can kind of predict this. You never lose until you sell. So for me, sometimes you even get 50% returns. It happens. I've been in those. I'm currently in myself in a 1,100% return coin right now. I'm in that. So I'm kind of just chilling. So if I had $100,000 into that, 1,100% return, then I would literally be up $1 million. The people that make that type of money have money. So imagine you make 5,000 or you make 10,000. Well, even though 5% out of 100,000, you make 5% every single day of 100,000. That's $5,000 a day. You're looking at it from a 30-day time period. You now make $150,000
A month?
a month, or it might be $15,000. No matter what, still a lot of fucking money. All right, I'm pretty sure it's $150,000. My math might be a little wrong there, but over 6 figures, and you're making that in a month. Some people don't even make that in 3 years. So the way you're looking at it right now, man, we are in an era. The way I kind of speak about it is, if you're buying shoes that cost $2,000 and $1,000, those are people that I'm kind of targeting. Like, what the fuck are you doing? All right, like that's literally where I'm kind of just like, we're in an era. You don't need to buy all this extra shit. Because if you can make $2,000 turn into $100,000, you can then use that $100,000 to buy something that costs $2,000 and still have $98,000. Instead of using that $2,000 now having $0, and now you ain't got no money. Like you didn't make that money when you could have just waited. Like I don't understand that. I'm starting to understand it more as I get older. The concept of that, because I know a lot of people want to be fashionable and all that shit, but it's just not worth it. I think that trying to like become a millionaire in your 30s should be the goal right now, honestly. That's where I kind of feel like it. And if we can do now with this, I guess you call it whatever you want to call it, a scheme, opportunity, market, like whatever you want to call it, get educated and learn about it. Like literally, it's there.
So what would be your guys' advice for like people who want to get into crypto?
Okay.
So I would start with saying, don't risk more than you can afford to lose.
Number one.
Separate your goals. So if you have a financial goal in your life, have a separate account for that. And then if you want to invest in crypto, put it in a totally separate account, do a fixed amount you're comfortable. And if it went to zero, you would be completely fine with it. Because at the end of the day, this is kind of like, plowing new territory. There's not really that many experts out there that can tell you what's right and wrong. So you're kind of learning by example. You may have some failures that you learn from. However you're learning from it, it's kind of, there's not much education out there aside from like looking at the white papers of the cryptocurrency, seeing how other people were successful. And a lot of times when people talk about their success stories, they kind of hide some of the other details that they really learned how they made their success from. So, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But best advice for new people is just, whatever you're going to risk, just imagine it's all gone to begin with, and then you'll feel a lot better about it as you progress and hopefully make a lot of money.
Continue from what he said, the reason why those people, you hear those stories, I guarantee the one thing that they did do was hold.
Agreed.
So you always hold. That's my advice. If you put $500 in there, I have a friend, he talked about it. He said he would pull out $10,000. I guess we're on different wavelengths because I'm not looking for 10. If my coin got to $10,000 from that $500, you can call it greed, but you can also call it longevity. All right, we're looking at it. If you're talking about a 2-year span, where if I ask you a question, this is always like you kind of, no matter your situation, you got to ask somebody. If I said you can make $10,000 in 2 months, or you can make $200,000 in a year and a half, which one would you take?
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer for me, but apparently it's not a no-brainer for some people.
But see, I never looked at it in that perspective. You know what I mean? So that's pretty dope. Like when you look at it like that, it makes sense.
So because then what happens is, like I said, everything in society, everything in the world, in America, even the world, everything in this market is all about capital. If you have capital, do you know what a 10% return on $200,000 is? Yeah, you would have to risk it if you want to call it, but people do it all the time. See, the thing is, everybody's talking about risking it. Bro, people put their shit in fucking in the Dow and fucking S&P. Like people put that shit to get a measly 3% every fucking year. Like, and they do but they trust that shit, right? Because that's what they were growing up to tell you. But you don't trust a Bitcoin that's literally has gone up fucking 29 trillion % in the last 3 years. Like, but you telling me you can't look at that analytic? That's the only analytic. I'm a math guy. The only analytic I need to see is that this shit has gone up 29,000% in the last 4 years. So you're telling me if I put my $200,000 in there that I don't need, and that I made for my initial investment, because it's all about levels. Some people, if you're poor, then you have to have levels. We're not all rich like motherfucking Beverly Hill motherfuckers out here, all right? So when you're starting from somewhere, every penny, every off-white shoe costs. Everything goes into it that you need. Yeah, I got a nice car and whatnot. My situation's a little different. I'm a YouTuber, all right? It is what it is. But I'm saying, like, when you go into the situation, like, every dollar counts, because when you can get that fund that starts you up, now 30, you're going to 32, now you have 200K. Now you use that 200K. Say you put it into something else, now that 200K just made you $1 million. Now you're a millionaire before 37. Instead of just being like, only life to live, I'm just going to be doing right now. I don't need, so I hate when people say I don't even need money. I hate when you buy materialistic shit and say you don't need money. That has to be the craziest shit I've ever heard. I don't really need money, but you buying all materialistic shit. You need money. You like money. You just like it in different forms.
Facts.
So whenever I say it like that, for advice for people who want to get into crypto, you hold. So for me, it's like, I don't care about this $10,000 because first of all, I don't need the $10,000. Even if you did need it, do you really need it? Because you don't have $10,000. You have $500. Look at your initial investment. Take out that initial investment, or even take out like $2,000 of it, but you keep that in there, and now you reap the benefits in a year and a half, which is not that far, and you reap the benefits, and your life can be changed instead of worrying about the short term. I think that's really the problem with it. You look at it like that. So, hold is mine. Hold, always hold.
No, you're right. I mean, I think as you get older, I've learned that a year goes by like this, right?
Later, it's already May.
And I mean, when I started into investing, this was like before I even looked at crypto. I've always stuck in like mutual funds and stocks. But even then, in that mindset alone, 20% was a big deal. If you can get 20% on investment, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, Warren Buffett right there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was a thing. But now looking at crypto, like Miami just said, you're getting 2,000, trillion, percentage over.
I got 20% literally 5 minutes ago.
You see what I'm saying? Like that just what the 20% he made, it takes me maybe 2, maybe 3 years to get. You know what I mean? So once you start learning that concept and like holding and actually like doing the research, I'm still new to it. I just started in February. Kind of doing the research, looking at like the white papers or whatever. I have to like look into that and kind of understand that for me to understand.
And I can actually add a little bit of different perspective as well, because I don't have much money in the crypto market right now. I pulled out. While I understand the hold process and I'm all for it in the long run, there's some people out there that probably risk more than they should have, and probably need to make a decision with that money sooner than later, right? So what do you do if you invested $1,000 and you're at 30, 40, 50,000, right? I think you need to sit down and really think about, can I wait long enough to get some bigger returns off that? Or do I have an immediate financial goal that I need to hit? We're kind of living in a weird time right now where everything's expensive, right? So if you got an easy windfall, and it means whether you're living at your mom and pop's house versus you can buy your own place and kind of start living the adult life, those are kind of things I would wager as well. So if you can't afford to hold, really think about it, because there is a possibility that things could kind of go south for a year, 2 years. And if you can't wait that long, then I would at least think about it.
But I think at the end of the day, what you said, though, is still the number one thing. You're going back, you're just reinvesting.
Right.
Because whether you pull out or not, that when you pull out, it should not be for anything else but to reinvest.
Agreed.
That 50,000 should literally go right to either the house, or back into crypto, or into another stock that you believe, or whatever but it should not be pulled out at any point
to sit in the bank.
No, to sit in the bank,
or buy shoes,
or to
go
buy
strip club,
or do anything like that. It should go right back, because while that crypto made money, you were also making money, I would assume, from your job.
Yeah.
Whatever it pays, you would also still be making money. So now you have that 50,000 on top of what you made for the year. I would say the average American makes 40K. So now you just have $90,000 for the year that you made. Well, taxes, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But like you think about it now you can go back into it and then make more money.
Great.
To then be the rich people that continue to make rich money for the sole reason of going back and investing. Like, it's literally what they're doing. And what are we doing? My community, we're buying Gucci loafers and random shit. Like, I'm talking about the black community. As a black person, I can't speak for y'all community, but I can speak for what our community does. And yeah, it baffles me. You know, like.
Yo, honestly, hey, I just wanted to ask you guys, just honestly for me personally, I mean, luckily I had Ryan with me, so I was able to ask him. But if you guys had, $1,000, right, for the listeners, like $1,000 to invest, what would be your advice right now, currently?
So I think depending on who you ask, you'll probably get a totally different answer. But for me, when you're first starting and you really don't know, it's such a complicated subject that you're not going to understand it when you first start. So really, I would take probably half and follow the market. Think of it as kind of like the Kentucky Derby, right? You know, your best chance is putting on one of the top race horses, right, to get some success. So I'll take half of it, immediately throw it at one of those, right? So you got your Bitcoins, your Ethereums. And then I would take the other half and kind of try and apply the knowledge you know in real life to the digital space of cryptocurrency. So let's, for me, right, I know end-to-end gaming. So I went and I did research. I grabbed all of the gaming coins. I read the white papers, I also think is very important. Read the white papers. It kind of gives you a whole prospectus of the currencies and what they're trying to accomplish. And pick the ones that you think are going to succeed if you think they'll succeed in the space you know. And I think you have a pretty good shot there. But honestly, that would be my opinion.
Let's see. If someone had 1K to invest, I would just say research. Honestly, I mean, I think I would invest 200 of it initially just to choose, hear what your friend that is knowledgeable about crypto, at least see what he's doing, and then if you see the receipts and you see the analytics and see how much money he's made, then he probably has a good knack of what he's talking about. So I would say at least do 200 and then kind of feel that out, because I think a lot of problems that a lot of people have, especially with my friends coming to me or people coming to me, is the fact that they go into it, they see that they put $200 on Ethereum and it goes up by $100 and they're like, yeah, we need $100, and the next thing you know, they lose $90. Like, man, fuck this shit, like what the fuck, like, but it's been a span of a day and a half. I'm like, bro, it's been fucking 2 days, bro. Like, you can't really think about it. So as long as you get that feel to see where you're at, because I was like, bro, you gotta think about this, and you're getting this, like, from my own perspective, imagine you put $200 on. I always say this, like, to put it in perspective. You get $200, you literally lost $100 today, and you're mad, bro. I lost $39,000 today. Like, I lost $39,000 today. I'm good, cause tomorrow that shit will probably only be $10,000, and then a week later when the market's back up, it'll be up $62,000. So like, I don't want to hear about $100. You need to kind of relax, take a step back, and realize what money actually is and what it is and like what it really is. Because if you can't handle $100, how do you think you're gonna feel about a 30K swing? Like, it's gonna fuck you up if you're not ready for it. I think my conviction is crazy though, because I truly don't. I think I am a true crypto person at this point, because shit like that does not faze me. Now, if I see a 6-figure drop or I see like a 70,000 drop, fuck that noise. Like, okay, my day is bad now. But it just the way my cryptos are that I'm invested in are set up, it's just not gonna happen like that, because I'm investing into some good programs that are already up from the point that I invested in. The only difference is I held, and time is what you're gonna have to go through. It's gonna be the test of time. So I would just say like that. I wouldn't say put your whole 1K in anything, but definitely put a little bit to get a feel, and that's where you just ask a friend like, what should I do it? What's the main coin I should go? He's probably gonna say add a Cardano, by the way, or that vet.
I mean, they're definitely right. And as somebody that came in kind of later in the game, so people that are listening now, I didn't really know what to do at first. At first $1,000 does seem like a lot, but when we were talking off air a little bit, Miami's saying, hey, if you throw $100 in and that shit spikes and you made, you doubled your money, you just made $100, man. I think cryptos, if right now in this era, you'll either go hard or go home. Like that's my mentality. If you're not going to be able to lose it, because when I put money in, when Ryan advised me to, at first I only put like $1,000 in. But the more I talked to him, I actually reached out to Meami as well. I talked to them. I got built more confidence. I started throwing more money in, more thousands, and then when that money tripled, doubled, whatever, the back of my mind was like, I knew I could have threw more money in, but then that's greed. But the confidence in them, right? I always say, if you're new, reach out to your friends that have more invested in that, right? And then that was what I did. I go, okay, Ryan has a shit ton of money in there. Miami has a shit ton of money in there. My money is measly compared to theirs. Let me put mine in there and grow as they're growing. And then as you keep doing that, you start to build, and then, then you kind of understand the market, like how I'm kind of learning, So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, just be careful. I think there's a lot of people out there that are probably throwing their rent money at crypto right now. It's like, oh, it's not a problem. We're green every day. We're going to make it back. I'll pay my rent, and then we'll move on, and I'll have my savings, right? If it goes red for 6 months, you shouldn't be sweating about it. So if you're at the point where you're thinking about investing, but if that money went red for 6 months, would you lose your house? Would you lose your car? Could you pay groceries?
Would you lose your fucking mental health?
Yeah. Are you sitting there crying, calling your friends, wondering what's your next move? Do you have to take a loan out? This is not for you. Save some more money.
You should never. Yeah, it's definitely not for you. At least it's not for you from that portion. Like you could do $100. Like I said, you could do $100, $200. You'd be fine. But everything else, and that's another thing too. Like when you put $100, $200, you're up $10K. You still shouldn't be spending like you got $10K. You should still be, being frugal and waiting your turn at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, very important.
Don't spend that money if you actually pull out, right? Then spend that money. But if you're really not, you're just looking, oh, I'm up 20K, let me buy some sneakers, but you're not pulling out, then
you're not up 20K.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very true.
So.
But I mean, just like they said, obviously we're hearing success stories here. Both of these two are up. They started at an early time. They're up, but at the same time, there are failures. Ryan. I know we spoke about it before you kind of came up big. You experienced those failures.
Yeah. So when you start in a market that you've been able to see the high and the low, a lot of times you can get blinded by your idea of the concept, and it may sound like a really good concept, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a success. So for me, that was Funfair. It was a gambling coin where you can go online, you have your funds in a wallet, and it was seamless, feeless, where you can do online slots and things like that, and you can transfer out to crypto, in which you can convert it to whatever you want. Plus, there's no government oversight. So I thought in the gambling space, as morally gray as it is, I thought it might have been a good space. I was wrong. And for that specific coin, I went from about 18,000 investing down to about 300. So it was a cautionary tale for me, and I learned that no matter how much you believe in a coin, if you start to see the signs that it's not here to stay, just sell, convert it to something else, maybe put it in a stable coin. And by stable coin, I mean it's backed by the dollar or some currency where it's 1 for 1. And just kind of wait it out and see if your gut feeling holds true.
Did you sell though? You sold when you hit 300?
So for this specific coin, no, but it took 3 years for me to break even.
Correct.
So
but you didn't lose.
No, but I'm sure there was a lot of fellow Funfair people out there who probably did sell and called it quits. That they may not have been there for the recovery. Yeah,
but that's because you had the means that you understood that initial investment. Dang, if it didn't pan out, I'm going to hold it for 3 years. You know what I mean? And I think that's a lot of things that people misconstrue.
I feel like for me, if I have 2 million coins and I go from $18,000 to $100, then we going all the way.
Yeah.
We're going to zero.
Yeah.
You're going to take me balls to the fucking wall.
I'm done. Take it.
I'm not fucking leaving. I'm going all the way to motherfucking 1 cent.
Yeah.
You're going to have to take every penny from me before I'm gone. And guess what? We write it back up. So you didn't lose. So for me, my failure, I've had failure days. But I feel like in totality, I haven't had failure because I got diamond hands, bro. Like, diamonds right here. Like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm never going anywhere.
So I wasn't involved, but all the people who held a specific coin, it's called Made Safe coin. It was in the top 20 back in 2018. I think it's in probably over number 500 or greater. So there is examples where they just fall off the wagon for whatever reason, and you got to be smart about it. At least keep your head out of the sand and read. And if you see something really sketch, or they're looking kind of like a cash out or selling their business to somebody else, it's likely that they may go under. So most of the time, I agree, holding is definitely the way to be, but just be mindful of the environment.
For me, I just think about it when you look at a coin such as like, the Ethereum. If I always tell people like, if you have a problem with what you did, go to Ethereum. Like Ethereum was last month when I told my friends to buy it. I don't like Ethereum personally. Sometimes you're not supposed to use your feelings towards money, but in this case, I just hate Ethereum. But it was at $1,700, and it got up all the way up to $4,400. So they made a good good 2-3K off of a month.
Yep.
You basically made your monthly check from your job in the month, and can you complain about that? No, you can't really complain about that. And that was it. What you had to do, all you had to do was listen to me, and I told you, free game. So the way I look at it like that is like. You gotta look at it like a coin like Ethereum. That shit is not going back to $0. All right, like there's just too much. There's too many companies, too many entities that are involved, and I think that's a problem that people like. That research you have to go through. Like look at things like NFT coins and see where NFTs going, especially with in sports and in art. Look at VeChain. I always hype VeChain. If VeChain hits $1, you guys are gonna see me in McLaren. That ass. Just is gonna happen. Just letting you guys know. Whenever it happens, I don't know, but when it does, shit, you're gonna see me. But I always say like the logistics side of VeChain, the technology that's behind it, and the support, and what it's backed up by. Your company has also. What's the company that you have that your company uses that VeChain's backed up by?
There's PwC and then
PwC,
there's,
yeah,
Salesforce.
Yep. That was one of the big announcements that they had in the last month and a half, and then also BMW are backed up, and they're in the summer. They're talking with a DHL collab coming soon. So the logistics world is being taken over by VeChain, and it's just a great program. That's as long as big entities are backed up by it, and if Amazon takes it upon itself to do it, whatever it does, then the sky's the limit. And that's what people really don't understand. These are the real, not my measly 5-figure number invested into the coin, but these are $1 million, $1 billion companies that are invested into these cryptos. So you got to think about that. If I'm gonna lose my 15 or whatever original investment, then those motherfuckers are gonna lose their $1 billion in original investment. So that's why
the whole company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think about. Unlikely,
Yeah.
Exactly. They're not gonna let that fucking happen because they're not fucking leaving. So that's literally how I just feel about that. Yeah.
And that's true. That's honestly true. Like that's why you have to look at it. Kind of do your homework and research. Like for me, like I'm vet all the way. I've since I've been exploring past engine, vet has been my go-to. But with that, with crypto being just such a free market, I wanted to ask you guys like government regulation, man. That's kind of coming in. They're kind of talking about like how they're going to tax it. Government's going to regulate it. Kind of what's your guys' viewpoints on that in terms of like the future of like crypto?
I'll go first. I think honestly, now that I actually thought about it, we talked about it earlier, but if it does get regulated, I don't know how it'll get regulated because it's decentralized, but if it does get regulated, I honestly think it's going to be the biggest move that the economy has seen in the last decade. Shit, I don't know when they're going to see it because now they're putting this coin, they're putting this system on the map now. Hey, we're regulating. We're not getting rid of it. We're regulating the coin. So they're basically saying that this shit is making fucking money. Mm-hmm. And it's here to stay and it's not going anywhere. And now it's going to wake everybody up. People like your parents don't believe in it. Then why the fuck are they regulating it? Yeah. If they're regulating it, that means it's doing something. So that's another outlook to it. They kind of look at it now like, I hope it does get regulated now that I'm thinking about it. Because that if it does get regulated, fairly, hopefully, obviously, but if it does somehow get regulated, I don't find out how they're going to do it, but if it somehow gets regulated, then that means that crypto has now taken off. I think if it gets regulated, that means Bitcoin's at $100,000.
Agreed. Probably more.
Yeah. If it does get regulated. That's personally how I feel. Because it's going to get to the point where if Bitcoin's at $100,000, they're going to be fucking 50-year-old trillionaires. Not billionaires. Because the new billionaire is not even at 50, 60 anymore. The new billionaire is now at 40, 30, 40. Trillionaire is going to be created at 50, 60. Then, well, I don't even know what's past trillionaire, but the way it's going now, that number might be attainable. the way crypto is going. I mean, because there's a lot of motherfuckers that own a lot of Bitcoin, and it just keeps going and going and going. So,
Yeah, agreed. I mean, from a long-term perspective, I agree wholeheartedly. I think regulation needs to happen for this to stay permanently. I think in the short term, you may see a spike downwards because with government intervention, there has to be some part of the identity lost, right? Because how blockchain works is you have this wallet of 20, 30 characters that has no identifiers to you. Nobody knows who you are. I don't know if that will fly with the government. So I don't know if there would be some type of systemic change within cryptocurrency to allow more data to be available for governance. If something like that were to happen, I think you would see spike downwards. But in the long run, I think that's just healthy growth that eventually needs to happen anyway. So if you have diamond hands, it's no issue to you. If you sell, if things go red, then you might be in trouble.
Agreed. I mean, I'm not really sure with the government regulation, but I'm going to trust the experts here. I'm still crystallizing my hands to become diamond. So, everybody else, just stay strong. Trust me, I get the feeling, right? You lose a couple hundred, you lose a couple thousand, you kind of stress a little bit, but, I sit with them, I sit with Ryan, I sit with Meami, and they just tell me, just don't be a bitch. Stay strong, keep your hands, crystalled, and I'm good. So, listening to this, it's helped me. So if you're going to invest, an investment is an investment, right? It's something long term. I've had friends, Sal has told me there's no such thing as, fast money, right? So if you're going to invest in something, stick to it, do your homework with it, research it. One of the last topics I did want to talk to you guys about that Miami kind of brought up was like NFTs with albums, music, athletic moments. I kind of want to take you guys' take on that. For the listeners, I don't know if you guys know, albums, artists like The Weeknd, dropped, his After Hours, and he did like an NFT where you can buy like, part of the album, or athletic moments. Everybody knows the iconic LeBron block on Iguodala, in the finals. Like, you can buy that moment, even art, you can buy artwork and you own that artwork as it values up and whatnot. You could sell and trade or whatever. I kind of want to ask your guys' opinion on that. It's kind of a newer market.
I think that we're now in the era of social influence. Social, being someone that's a part of kind of that, not to the degree of a Weekend, but someone kind of being involved in that space. I can kind of see now where the power of social influence is now going, and what the word of a man can do. Look at Elon Musk, what he can do with just the power of a tweet, social media. So with these NFTs, man, I think that it kind of is going to open up, different revenues for these artists, I guess, because you gotta understand the record. I already talk about how I feel like either record labels are gonna die or they're gonna adapt. So, and when I say adapt, that means they're gonna find either better deals for their artists, or because a lot of these artists can go to independent and they don't even realize it now. With all the social media, you can literally just go independent and be amazing. And so when you look at that, I feel like with these NFTs is one way of kind of keeping your art for you and whatnot, and the value of it, and even the athletes type of things. A lot of people like to put the what is art? It's stupid. I don't understand it. So if I don't understand it, it's stupid. Like the fact that you don't understand it is one thing. Like I think the Mona Lisa is utter trash. I think it's fucking worthless. But that doesn't matter what I think, because what it is not, it's priceless. And that's because the value that people put around this painting. So with digital art, we're now in the era of, a lot of people don't realize, man, like we grew up. I grew up, I'm 30 now, but I grew up now in I was a teen. I was a prime teen, a 13-year-old when AOL Messenger was the thing. So I was literally the product of that environment, of the internet. And I've seen internet go into social. I was a high schooler when social media became a thing. I was in college when Instagram was popping.
Yeah.
When Snapchat was popping, I was in college. So like when you think about all the times that my era, my generation specifically, my age has gone through, we've gone through every aspect of technology. So now this is the next step of technology. If you don't know how to use a computer, you're already late. That's what Joe Budden said. I remember. I'll never forget that episode. He said, if you're trying to learn how to use a computer and how to learn that, you're already behind on technology, because technology is about to take off into the next space, which is this NFT shit. Online, like sooner or later, they're gonna have holograms. When Pokemon gets into the NFT shit, that shit's gonna blast. People are gonna have Pokemon cards, and the fucking holographic cards are gonna come out in these NFT kind of digital things, and they're like, "Look, I got my Blastoise." Remember, we go to school and be like, "Hey, I got my Blastoise. Look at the card." Now they're gonna come out, "Look, I got my Blastoise. Come on, my hologram shit. Wait, let me scroll down. I got this other NFT card. You can't say, boom, I got this. You got this? Yeah, I got that shit. 1 of 1 Charizard. You can't touch it."
Hey, yo, Yu-Gi-Oh is gonna be the real deal now. Where, what you saw in the cartoons back in the day, yeah, you could actually live that now. Yeah.
To be fair, honestly, if you think about it, it might be a real life Yu-Gi-Oh, and you could probably save this episode and see in 5 years. They're literally gonna carry like these little ass fucking wallets, and it might come out, and you're gonna see this hologram come out, like, and that's gonna be some different shit. I'm telling you, because this NFT shit is something, and people put the value on it. People are like, why? It's the same thing. Why is Charizard worth fucking 40K now? Why is he worth 40K now? I love Charizard as my guy, but I'm just saying, like, why is this Pokemon card worth 40K? This card that we used to have in 1996 worth 40K now. Who decided that? So that's what is decided. So you could think it's stupid all you want, but the fact is that people, if they decide that the NFT that Miami dude owned costs $50 million, and you want to call it money laundering, I just call it, look, you don't got $50 million, so you hate. That's what I call it. But if you call it $50 million and he's doing what he wants and he's buying it for $50 million, then it is what it is. Like, you can't really hate on that. Like,
Yeah, no, agreed. I think NFTs will, in our lifetime, expand to not just like albums or like athletes. I think it'll go deeper than that, and eventually digital goods would be, in some cases, just as valuable as a real thing. So, you're seeing VR, people really taking advantage, like VR, and you have a character or a persona that has their own equipment or clothing or outfits, and the whole point of NFTs being a non-fungible token is it's a digital good that can't be easily replicated, right? So if you think about that, that can be applied in so many different aspects. So, I think give it a few more years, and that NFT buzzword, you'll hear it a lot more.
Agreed, man. On that note, man, honestly, guys, man, thanks for coming out here, man. Sure, this was,
of course,
this was an intro, man. If you guys definitely want to ever hear a part 2, man, in the comments, please let us know, and we'll definitely do that if you guys are down for that. This was kind of a basic. I learned a lot. We got the whole squad here. I feel like everybody's been taking some notes, man. We've honestly taken a few breaks and just chopped it up for a couple hours just to kind of get the concept of this down. But on that note, I'm good, guys. Any last words, Miami?
I'm good. Just always hold, bro.
Yep.
Just always
Ryan?
hold.
Nah, agreed, man. Hold on unless you can't risk it. Then cash out like I did.
But on that note, guys, man, again, Sweeterman Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Sweeterman Podcast. If you want to find Miami on YouTube, it's Meami. Definitely check him out. And on that note, appreciate it.
To the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.